Hey guys, and welcome to RC and Legos, and today we are replacing motors in a winch. So here we have a dual motor winch. Yours might not be dual motor, might only be single motor, but the same steps should apply. Alright, so you might be thinking, why would you need to switch your motors out in your winch? Well, these small little gearboxes, you can see how small those gears are. They can be easily stripped out, so placing them is much cheaper than buying a whole new winch. So the first thing you need to do is you have your 1.5 millimeter hex wrench or screwdriver. At least on mine, that's what size it is. Might be different for yours, but you want to disassemble it. And a magnetic tray is great for holding the screws. Alright, now that you have your winch all taken apart, you can see here this is the motor I am replacing. But I don't know the RPM of these motors, so I'm just going to replace them both. So now that you have it taken apart, it is simple as desoldering the wires and resoldering on the new wires. Now, to know which motor is right for you, you want to take some measurements. Usually they will have some measurements on the site of what the dimensions are of the motor, like the shaft size, the gearbox size, how long it is, stuff like that. And so if you have a caliper or something, you can take your measurements of your motor to make sure it will fit. There is a whole range of RPM and voltage. So the motors that you want to get are 12 volt motors. They will be able to handle a 3S, because a 3S is 11.1 volts. The ones below the 12 volt ones is a 6 volt, which even if you're running a 2S battery, it would be too much power for it. So you want a 12 volt motor. And also these right here are 100 RPM motors, and you can look up on YouTube to see how fast 100 RPM is, 200, and so on. So I chose the 100 RPM because I'm pretty sure these will give you some good speed and torque, and hopefully they won't strip out the gears as much. But when you got working with gears that small, you gotta be pretty careful with them. You want to make sure you get the polarity right. And these new motors, a plus and minus here, but there's a dot at the top. So I'm guessing it's going to go somewhat like that. And maybe under this wire here. Yep, there's plus. There's minus. Alright, so let's take off the old motors and put on the new ones. Alright guys, now that you got your motors all soldered on, now let's test it to make sure. This is a very important step if you have a dual motor winch. Because if you have one going the wrong way, you can end up stripping them. You take your winch controller and have your battery, hook everything up, and then you use your controller to make sure they're both going the same direction. As you can see here, they are. So now that you know that they're going the same direction, when you put your spool on, just so you know, you do want these lined up if you're running a dual motor winch. As you can see, there is a flat spot. Alright, so now all you have to do is put it back together. Alright, so I have half of it complete. Now I gotta put this motor in its housing, like that. Put the screws in. And then you need to get your spool on there, but make sure you have the shafts lined up. Now how do you do that? We can see here, there's this gear right here. If your motor is straight like this, it is down at the bottom right here. And that is the gear that you can adjust it from. Now depending on the RPM of your motor, it will take longer or shorter to turn that shaft where you want it. You can see it's moving very slow. Alright, let's keep putting it together. Alright guys, here we go. It is all put back together. And it looks pretty good. I will say, I do have to take it all apart again because I forgot to put the free spool spring back in it. So, I'll have fun doing that. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps you. I will put some links to some motors down in the description so you have an idea of what to buy. Alright, see ya!